Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Trade Talks Live. I'm your host today, Squirt. As you can see,
What? What?
look
This
at
is
this.
my show. Remember?
Look at this. See, I come in to take a show over, and he just won't leave, guys. I don't know what the deal is.
Oh, Uber's here. I gotta
Uber.
go.
Oh, bye. Guys, it's Thirsty Thursday, day 4 of Safety Week. I'm kicking Roger out, sending him on a plane up to Virginia. Guys, don't forget his meet and greet tomorrow. Okay, on the Eventbrite. Guys, tune in yesterday. It's in the comments, guarantee. Go check him out. He'll be up there hanging out with the locals and just watching some cool stuff. So he'll be speaking, I think it is during lunch, but there's also the meet and greet from 9 to 11 up there. And guys, like I said, day 4, I'm Henry Wakefield, 20-year pipe fitter, taking over the channel today. So Roger is out, sending him on a plane so that he can go fly across the country once again. But day 4 of Safety Week, guys. Safety stand-downs across the country going on. Make sure you're doing your part and you're participating. We would like to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks, where they build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. And if you want to check out the equipment, you can visit www.leak-pro.com. Check out the complete kit. It comes with both devices, the probe and the sidekick. That's going to cover you for that outdoor and the indoor stuff, even through slabs. Check out the equipment. If you don't know anything about leak detection and you want to add that as a specialty at your plumbing company, you're tired of subbing it out, waiting for leak detection, guys, anything like that, give me a call, 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. I'd be happy to discuss a 2-day training I do out here, and I will teach you every part that you need to know about leak detection. So give me a call. Once again, 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. Man, happy Thursday, everybody. And we're going to kick off day 4 of Safety Week. Get that rolling. All right, a little different in here running it all. Kind of nice. Guys, Construction Safety Week, day 4's focus is empowerment through education. Okay, today's Safety Week theme highlights giving every worker, not just the foreman, not just the superintendents, the confidence and the knowledge to make the site safer. And guys, do the safety talks this week. Break down each and every day things that your crew needs to learn, things that you need to work on, things you see around your site. Focus on the fatal 4s, teaching them about that, watching out for electrocution, falls, slips, trips, caught between, struck bys, all this stuff. Guys, pay attention this week. It's super important, and we're trying to just do a good day, good week. Safety on the job, keep it at the top of minds for everybody. Main reason, OSHA research shows that 45% of incidents could be prevented by a field technician speaking up earlier. Guys, and I can remember being in the field, things happen, and it's like, it'll be fine. We'll just keep an eye out for that next time. Pass that knowledge on to others so that they all know to keep an eye out for it the next time. Empowerment is giving permission, training, and time for workers to address concerns. Back whenever I was an apprentice coming up, they gave us stop work authority. They said, look, your day 1, if you feel unsafe at anything, you can tell them to stop working. We'll explain, we'll deal with safety issues, we'll make it safer any way we possibly can. Some guys don't know, so it's a little adjustment there, but you really want to encourage your crews to lead toolbox talks or do a 2-minute hazard scan. You're going to work into a new area. Walk through that area. Ask the crew, hey guys, point out some hazards in this room that we need to watch out for while we're in here working, and let the crew be a part of the safety walk, the look, because like we used to do a deal every day, every morning. You have to list any possible hazard that could happen, any injury, any cut, any scrape, dust in your eyes, all sorts of things. But then you also had to put the way that you were going to prevent that hazard from ever happening. So let the crew be a part of that 2-minute walk through that new space, 5-minute if you need it, depending on the area. Do this before shifts and it'll help everybody buy in. And that's the main thing that we need in safety, is everybody to buy into safety so that we can all go home just like we showed up at work. You also, like, there's some times that I would screw some things up or find some things that were wrong. And it's like, guys, hey, this guardrail's loose. Y'all pay attention to this, keep an eye on it, throw some tape up or something. I'm going to go let the GC know so that they can get it addressed and fixed. Don't be scared to do that. Okay. You are empowered to say something and let people know. You see holes that somebody else cored that they didn't put a cover on it, and it's a 2-inch hole. Hey, let the plumber know. If it's his event, hey, y'all need to plug your holes. I got to work in the area, and I don't want to get fined if OSHA comes and does a job walk because I work in that space. So keep an eye on things. Don't be scared to say something. Don't be scared to address the issue yourself. If you've got the stuff, hey, throw a cover over that hole real quick because you are responsible also. But ABC Safety Performance Report showed that companies with peer-led safety programs are 688% safer than industry average. Okay, so workers who receive regular in-field safety coaching, 3 times more likely to stop unsafe behavior. When you train them right and you give them that confidence that they know, they're not scared to step in and say something. And you've got to let them know that they have that authority to be able to step in and say something. So, you know, who's been a part of your crew that would stop work that you won't ever forget? I've seen some, we were lifting big heavy pipe in the middle of it and they're like, stop, bring everything back down. Let's keep that strap to where it cannot fall off that forklift just in case we jab something, bang into anything. We don't need that coming down on us. And it's like, ooh, good point. Let's throw a C-clamp on there so that the strap cannot come off of the forks. So we came up with some different ways to do things. Let's see what we got over here. Mr. I. Grant, Great Rising Squirt. Any info on the elevator trade? Starting my apprenticeship soon and don't see too much. Brother, it is one of the hardest ones to get into. A very diverse trade. I actually talked to a lot of the elevator guys whenever I was working because I did a lot of shaft work in high rises. You are in for a treat. It's one of the highest paying trades out there. And you deal with every single part. You're going to deal with some concrete stuff because if the concrete's not done right, the elevators guys go in there sometimes to actually fix it, address the issues, grind down portions that are needed. They run all the conduits, the wiring, they build out the whole framework, all the rails, all the lifters, everything. You're in for a treat, man. Like, honestly, that was a career that I was looking at getting into later. I wanted to go through as pipe fitter first, but it's one of the ones that you can build your retirement the fastest. So definitely a good thing to get into. Let's move on into website review. I found one this morning, constructionknowledge.net. Okay. Now it's an old school looking site, but guys, this thing is a beast for instructors and learners. Okay. The resources cover concrete, excavation, crane rigging, welding, plumbing, and way more. This is perfect for training shops, field manuals, and any quick lessons. There's a bunch of different things there. I found some trade math, test prep, blueprint reading, sample classroom syllabuses. One of the coolest things that I had found in there this morning, though, I was going through and there was a superintendent checklist for plumbers, for electricians, HVAC, different things, to go through and hit this checklist so that you're looking at different things that are showing up on the job. You know, what fixtures did they order? Is there any specialties coming? Is there long lead equipment? There's a checklist to go through and kind of make sure that all your ducks are lined up in a row. So I think that's really cool. But you could also go through there. You could create a binder from their downloadable PDFs for your apprentices. Okay. Assign an article a week as the crew homework. Bring them in and read them to the crews. But guys, some of these trade sites out there, if you're just getting into trades, things like that, start researching some of these different things. Learn the basics before you start. Grant, man, no problem. It's going to be a good time. I guarantee it. Like I've met some really good elevator guys, known a lot of them. You're going to have a good time. Go through some of this, look at some of the electrical side, things like that. Just start to get some of that basic knowledge, that awareness things. If it's your first time ever on a job, go through and learn some safety. That's one of the first things that you're going to learn anyway. And it's one of the most important because it shows you everything that you need to keep an eye on walking onto a job site. So it's also got some trades definition glossary so that you can enforce vocabulary across all trades. But guys, this site, it's a secret weapon that you didn't know that you needed. There's insights in here most people don't talk about. So go through here and check it out and see how it can benefit you in your trade. And we like to bring a lot of these different resources out. Let's move on here to business growth. Now, this is a big one, guys. Scaling smart. When you should say no to that big job. Okay, now I worked at a super large MEP company. We loved having a large project. We called them our core because all these small jobs that we do are great. If there's a gap between one small job to the next, you like to have that core job to send some guys to work for a little bit. So it's hard to figure out when's the right time to say no to a big job because we all want to grow. We all want that bigger paycheck, more revenue. Man, that's going to be great for the company if we can land that big one. But there's some things that you're going to have to think about before you try to get that big one, okay? Everybody wants to grow until the dream job comes with late payments, bonding requirements, and no margin, okay? Because some of these super large projects, the margins are really small to actually get in there. And that was one of the things that blew my mind. It's like, man, the job's so big. Are cutting the profit down that much? Really? But I was also in an industrial group, which is different because we go into existing places and different buffer factors there for remodels, like we were talking about on yesterday's show. But there's a lot of signs that'll let you know if you need to say no or not. Okay. If they ever want you to start before you sign the contract, that's probably not a real good idea. There's no down payment. Your crew is already near capacity. Now, this is one of the biggest ones because if you've got all this work going already that you've committed to, you've got locked in on the books, it's scheduled. Oh, if you land that big job, is that going to try to pull every resource you have? Does it take the whole company to do that large job? Can you hire in more? Is there time? Do you have the labor pool? There's a lot of different things to think of. So definitely think about where you're at, where your resources are, how much you can contribute, because if it doesn't all lay out right, you may not want to bid that big job. But like an example, say you bid a school remodel, you win it, but you stretched your manpower so thin that a $3,000 service client walks because you missed some urgent call. Now, you made $5K, but guess what? You lost $15K in future work because you were too busy, you were too tied up, so you couldn't go knock that out. Well, you lost an opportunity because you overcommitted. So you've got to try to think. It's like playing chess. Any business is. There's a lot of moves. It's not just what you see. It's all the steps that lead you into the future too. Make sure that you can spread it the way you need to actually accommodate and cover all the projects out there. Have you ever walked away from a job and been glad that you did? I've had some I was super happy that I walked away from and turned down. I've had some, I was in the middle of an estimate. Well, we got awarded something else, and it's like, look, hey, drop that. Nope, we can't bid that. Because we knew, look, there's no way to get the ducks in a row for this. So we're kind of limited on it. There's no way that we can man that right now. I don't have the supervisors to run it because everybody's actually tied up, and I don't have any hiding on any of those core projects that we can send out to run something else. So it's something that you do. You've got to be super careful about, and just keep an eye on that. I'm going to say, let's move on in here to service work. Guys, a big one here. Whenever you're working on high rises or even in crawl spaces, are you charging more? You should be. Something that I learned in estimating, and this is working, you don't think about it a whole lot, but crawl space we do, it's harder to get your job done, right? It takes you a lot longer. Well, if you're just doing a material takeoff and you're doing all your labor based on that material, you're going to have to do a labor factor for crawl spaces and high rises. Guess what? The more floors that you've got to go up, the longer it's going to take your guys to get the material up there, to get it installed, to get back and forth from breaks, from anything and everything that they need. So high rises, definitely each floor gets factored a little bit higher depending on the height and the access, how many buck hoist, how easy is it to move men and material around the jobs? You're going to have to figure that so that you can actually factor it. These jobs require special access, PPE, extra setup time, and higher risk. You know, like, is it a confined space? Well, then that's extra cost. You're going to have an extra person there maintaining that access, keeping an eye on the entrant, there for emergencies. So all this stuff has to be actually figured and factored in. If you've got to have a safety man there on top of that, that's got to be figured out into that estimate. You've got to make sure that you are covering every single person that has to be there. It's not just figured in your normal overhead for crawl spaces or high rises. They're a little bit different. I'll tell you what, yeah, elevator wait times in a high rise, that can eat 30 to 60 minutes easily from your call. Okay. I had a buddy that lived downtown. They had 3 elevators in the building. Most weeks, 1 worked. 2 were always down. So there was always about a 10-minute wait on the floors. When all 3 were working, guess what? Man, just a couple minutes max. Because 3 runs really smooth. But whenever something's down and you don't know it, that's going to add time to that service call. And it's just an unforeseen thing. But if you know it's a high-rise building, go ahead and add in some extra time because elevators can really bite you in your butt real quick. Crawl spaces, guys. If it's a water break and you're going into a crawl space, you know that you're going to have to pump it out first. You're going to have to deal with lights so that you can actually see. You can be safe under there. You're going to need Tyvek suits to keep you clean so that when you come out, you can still take that off and go into the home. You're not all muddy and nasty. And also there's additional liability, guys. It's hard to get in. It's hard to get out. You're going to need extra people, extra time to get the materials back and forth, things like that. But like a billing language sample here, due to safety and logistical requirements, high access and confined spaces, calls include an environment modifier of $85 because it's going to add time for us. So don't forget that, you know, there's been some jobs that we've done that were confined space required. It probably quadrupled the time to install all the piping in those specific spaces. But it was like 4 times the length of time to get the same thing done because anytime you wanted to go in there, okay, well, we got to check the oxygen levels. We got to get harnessed up. We got to get the retrieval system set up. We got to have the attendant come. We got to have all these things. So just remember, standard access pricing doesn't apply in unstandard conditions, guys. And it's okay to say it out loud. Let the customers know, look, hey, this requires a lot of extra stuff for us to do it safely, which adds time. But for us to do it properly, this is what's appropriate. And don't be scared to say it, because we're trained. They're not. There's a lot of safety things that we don't know till we enter a trade. And then it's like, holy crap, all that stuff. Like dumpsters are confined spaces. When you first start, you don't think about that. And it's like, wait, what? Like we were talking about a couple weeks ago, an attic is a confined space. Limited egress and access. There's one way in, one way out. It is a confined space, even when you don't think about it that way. Because like the attic kind of blew my mind, because it's like, man, how many times do you go in and out of your attic for Christmas equipment and storage and things like that? All the time. Have you ever thought about it being a confined space? It is, guys. Let's move over to materials, equipment, and tools, or MET. Are you sharpening your blades, or are you just tossing them, guys? And I'm talking like utility blades, pipe cutters, drill bits, circular saw blades. You know that many of these blades can be sharpened 3 to 5 times. Tossing dull blades prematurely kills profit, and it wears out tools. One thing I learned, man, like I did piping. I was a 20-year pipe fitter. Insulators. You want to talk about guys that go through some blades, but they are constantly resharpening. Razor knife, and it'll cut cardboard like butter pretty much. Man, some of the blades these guys use are super sharp. You be careful if you ever borrow an insulator's knife to cut anything. But guys, sharpening stations can be affordable. Some are under $100 for bench setups or handheld sharpeners for pipe and hole saws. And I learned that like back at a machine shop whenever I was still a teenager, back before I ever got into the trades. I guess I did some plumbing before. One of the first things I learned is how to sharpen drill bits. Just because it's bad doesn't mean you just toss it in the trash. You can take a grinder and go down and put a new sharp edge on there, and it will keep drilling. So you can sharpen some drill bits, but there's some different things out there to be able to sharpen other blades also. There was a contractor that saved $2,000 a year just by sharpening blades and renting a sharpener once a quarter. Guys, this is big. I always kept extra blades around and things. When you pull off one and throw that new one on, take that other one and have it sharpened later. Save it for this once a quarter rental so that you can keep that blade, have it ready to go for the next time that next one breaks, gets dull, or whatever happens to it. But definitely, like, I carry knives, and I keep my knife sharp all the time. So I'm never scared to keep things sharp. I don't toss them very quick, but I try to take care of it. You can put marks on the toolboxes to keep track of how often you've used something or things like that. Like maybe after 5 uses, resharpen it or toss it, depending on what the blade is. Because as your blades dull, it takes longer to make the cuts, which is going to cost you more time, more effort, more labor. So sharp blades are very important to keep progress moving forward. Because if you trying to cut with a dull blade, guess what? You're not cutting anything. You're not really getting anywhere. So check out some of the tool sharpeners that are out there. See what all you can resharpen. And hey, if you don't want to buy one, just rent one. Like I said, once a quarter that guy rented one, saved $2,000 a year to be able to reuse that many blades. And I cut a lot of things. I was a pipe fitter. So blades are super important. I don't know how many Portaband blades I'd go through, but a lot of my blades, you can't really resharpen because it's usually cutting wheels, things like that. And they just disappear as they cut for some reason. Y'all figure out how to sharpen one of those for me and let me know. Guys, everybody, it is safety week, day 4, once again. So do your part, do your stand down, increase the thoughts on safety. Make sure everybody's a part of it. Everybody can be heard at your company because safety is important from the top to the bottom, not just on paper. So definitely keep an eye on that. Guys, we would like to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks. I build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers, guys. I built a couple different devices. I built a probe. It's a T-handle style, solid block of aluminum. It's got a stainless steel rod on it. It's real durable for probing in and out of the ground. That's what I prefer for that meter to the home service. Any irrigation lines, things like that. It's great. But also there's a sidekick, and that's a pistol grip style with an aluminum rod. That aluminum rod, it's a less dense metal. So that enhances the sound a leak makes even more. That's what we prefer when you go indoors. You're listening through any slabs, driveways, sidewalks, anything like that. You're going to want that sidekick. So always check out the complete kit. It comes with both devices. Good thing about it, guys, there's one wire that comes up to the headphones, and the volume knob on there is the only adjustment on the whole device. If you'd like to check out our equipment, you can visit www.leak-pro.com. But also, if you don't know anything about leak detection and you want to add this to your capabilities, to your business, anywhere you work, give me a call. I do a 2-day in-person training here just outside of Dallas, Texas. And what I do, I train you on how to locate the lines. I've got 11 leaks under a slab here. It's extra thick slab, hard to hear, but that's what training's all about, is dealing with the toughest situation for the training. I'll teach you those 11 leaks, run you through all those different situations. I also have one outside of the slab so that you know what just an underground leak sounds like, also to be able to put that probe on. But also I do a sewer system. I've got a cast iron and a PVC system set up out there. When you can't find the leak on the sewer system with your camera, I teach you how to go to the double clean out outside, isolate branch lines so you can determine exactly where a sewer line's leaking under a home. If y'all want to learn about leak detection and how to do it, give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. We can discuss training and how you can add this to your business, but also you can sit down with Roger and he'll teach you how to market this service and start getting more leak detection business in your local area. Once again, you can give me a call, 1-8888-LEAK-PRO, and I'd be happy to discuss that with you. All right, we got Abe down here. Leak Pro is amazing. That's it, man. He bought one not too long ago. Loved his sidekick. Did a job. Was it yesterday or Monday? I think it was Monday. Mr. Matt in here. Squirt, what's up, brother? Tell me about that Leak Pro. Brother, I just did. We love it. Got some trainings coming up. It's getting busy. Always a wonderful thing. That is what we like to see. All right, guys. Moved into MEP. Yeah, MEP. MEP clash prevention during core drilling. Okay. This is what the pros are doing right. Guys, if you're a core drilling without trade coordination, that's going to be misalignment, fire stop fails, wasted time. Okay. You need to run some MEP walkthroughs. Now, that was one of my favorite things is I worked for a lot of companies that we were MEP. We had them all three. Loved that as a sales point for the estimating side and everything. But whenever you get a company that does have the M, the E, and the P, they communicate all the time. If it's different, run an MEP walkthrough. Hey, where are y'all's chases? Where your pipe's going through? Where you got core drills going? Where do we need holes? Different things like that. But definitely before the layout gets chalked, color code the cores. Okay? Blue for plumbing, red for fire, green for electrical. Take photos before you drill and share with other trades. Let them know everywhere you got going. Something that I used to like doing is if the GC is responsible for the cores, depending on if you have them in your bid or not, GCs can hire a core driller for all the holes in capturing every core drill it needs. An example here, there was a GC that hired a sub to drill without checking layout. Okay. $4,200 lost when they cored through a finished room below. One of the major things that I did, guys, any core drill, because back whenever I first got in the trade, we did our own core drills. We didn't sub it out to anybody. Nobody came out and did them for us. We ran it all, 100%. One of the first lessons I learned, drill a pilot hole. Always. Drill that pilot hole, go downstairs, figure out where it's coming through. Just to verify, we know that you put in the time and effort to lay that hole out right. That's great. Go down, put a visual, put your eyes on it. Are you in the side of a beam? Where is that? Other part, I always worked in existing buildings. So you had to have a catcher on the bottom that was holding the bucket up against the concrete. I was that catcher a lot of times. I always wanted a pilot hole because I'm like, look, I want that bucket centered perfect. Whether I'm drilling a 2-inch hole or an 8-inch hole, I'm ready to catch it, but I need to know that my bucket is right where it needs to be, because the slurry when you're drilling a core is not fun to get all in your face and all over. You don't want to shower in it, I promise. Line your bucket up. A good preventative checklist. Confirm the sleeve diameters. That is one thing that I always walk with any core drillers that we brought out later, is verified every single hole, the right size, make sure the sleeves are going through. Anything that you actually need going through that hole, is it all accommodated for? Did you allow for insulation? If not, you're going to have to pay them to come back out and re-drill a bigger size. You do not want to do that, guys. That extra travel, extra trip, not good to pay. Use core drill standoffs. Okay. Add fall protection if you are working from height. I don't know how many I did from a lift, from the top of a ladder. Whenever I first got in, some of the clean room sub fabs and stuff that we were in, it's so tight and congested you couldn't do a lift. So everything we did was from ladders. We would build scaffolds, anything we needed to be able to core drill in the right places. But like, who's most likely to grab the Hilti and go on your crew? Do you have one? Do y'all do your own core drills? Do you sub it out to others? I'm kind of curious there. Let's see, Mr. Matt, doing awesome things. Love it. Mr. Miyagi. Oh, and Mr. Miyagi of Plumbing. Can't forget him. I know. I kicked him out today, brother. Got him headed up to Virginia for that meet and greet tomorrow, man. It's going to be a great thing. That leadership training, I believe. Something like that. He should have a good time. He's getting to see some cool stuff. All right, guys. Where is the work? Now, this is something that I've kind of been noticing. I was kind of involved in a little bit, part of the end of my industrial space and work. Warehouse to light manufacturing conversions, guys. Okay, this can be hidden gold for you electricians. Yeah, I'm not picking on you today. I'm showing you where some of the work is. Taking these old warehouses, turning them into a manufacturing facility, the major thing they need, power. plumbers, fitters, things like that. Don't worry. They'll need some air and things like that, possibly. But the major benefit here is for you electricians, because they are going to need power for all the different devices and equipment they have. Depending on what they manufacture, they may need water, air, gas, different things. I've worked in some cool manufacturing plants. I loved industrial work. That kind of became one of my favorites. Food plants was just, it was cool. Some of them are really gross, really nasty, but you get to see some really cool things. Like I got to build conveyor system for coffee beans out of stainless piping. I loved it. It was a great time. Pretty neat to see some cool things that we get to see in the trades. And I love that. These projects often start quiet, but they're wiring heavy. Okay. There's been cannabis labs, food packaging, laser cutters, print shops. They all need upgrades, guys. So look for some zoning changes and small manufacturer grant announcements from city websites. Stay tuned into your local areas. This really is big. I see them going in all the time down here. Like, they're not building normal strip malls anymore. They're starting to take different things and modify them. And that's something real big that we're seeing across the board. So you can offer a lighting audit and breaker load calculation up front. It's going to make you look like a full service consultant. So don't forget that. You can also add on some services. You can install EV charging for fleet, add wireless access points, surge protection for industrial printers and machines. So many different things that you can offer in these renovations, these remodels. We like to keep things moving, you know, and COVID led to a lot of empty buildings, a lot of businesses closing. All these different openings, guess what? You don't have to build a new building anymore. You can go buy one. You can repurpose it, rebuild it into something else. And that's where everything's actually headed. But I think warehouses going into manufacturing plants are great. And you're starting to see this more and more, especially in small businesses and areas like that. So really kind of dig that. Sorry about that. All right, let's move over here into instructor training. Letting the apprentices teach, okay? I loved this. This is something that I would try to do kind of as I would teach some of my apprentices. I would go borrow an apprentice for my apprentice to teach the thing I'd just taught last week. Now, occasionally you'll get those random journeymen. I can remember there was a time I was teaching an apprentice how to cut saddles. It was just a little piece, 2" on 3, I think is what it was. So I'm teaching them how to do the layout on the pipe, using a wraparound, all the stuff, do the measurements, go through all this. And then I've got this 62-year-old welder, old man, old Roger Gaskell comes up. Here, just watch this. Give me that torch. There you go. That's how you cut that. That's all we need. Thanks, Roger. Not Dad, different Roger, old welder. Thanks, Roger. I was trying to teach him how to lay it out so that he can actually cut it, though, because he does not have the experience you do at cutting those. And he goes, oh, crap, I messed that up for you. My bad. And guys, cut it off. We redid it. Let the apprentice see. And then I told him, I said, look, that's what experience looks like. He doesn't even have to do the layout. He knows what he needs. He can cut it. It's ready to go. That's what experience leads to. But then I let that apprentice go teach another apprentice how to do it. And watch them to see what they actually learned. And then when they hit that part where they can't remember what that next step is, they look at you and, well, what was that other part? Oh, hey, this, remember? Oh, yeah, dang. Yep, sure do. They will never forget that again, especially if they hit it like that and they have to ask you. They're never going to forget that step. It always stands out. So do some mentorship drills. Choose one apprentice weekly if you can, to explain a tool, a skill, or even a term, especially when you have a lot of new apprentices on a job. That was one of my favorite things about large jobs. You'd get a lot of the new apprentices and watch them feed off of each other and learn from each other. It's really cool. Have them teach. How do you solder? How do you wire a switch leg? Can you explain to me service valve positions? If you look at that handle, is that valve open or closed? Do you know that? That was one of my favorites walking through existing. But hey, is that valve open or closed right now? Oh, actually, that one's closed. Yeah, it is closed. Good job. I know it's a functioning plant. Why is it closed? Now, walk it out and figure it out. See if you can find out why. Make them dig a little further. They retain so much that way. Record it for playback. That adds accountability and it builds leadership. Let them see themselves teaching others. It's pretty wild. And some of the reasons this works, it activates memory. It's going to build communication, builds confidence so that they're not scared to teach. It's going to reveal any gaps, things that they forgot. They missed the step. They forgot something, things like that. It's going to show them the problems. And then they're going to learn from that so that hopefully the next thing they learn, there's no gaps. They're like, oh, wait, oh, don't forget that, because that's probably a very important piece to this whole process. So do that. Like, I can remember, one of the things I learned pipe fitting that kind of just blew a lot of people away whenever I went to West Texas to do some schools was grooving pipe. I learned this as an apprentice, but I guess not everybody does. Not everybody gets to run grooved pipe. So they would just order what they needed from the supply houses, pay for all the extra cuts, the grooves, all the work. And it's like, guys, you know that like there's a tape measure. You can do this really simple. Well, I went to school to rebuild a mechanical room. Went in, did all my layout, all my stuff, started doing all my measurements. We were waiting on a pipe delivery, but there were still some scraps around. And I'm like, you know what? Hey, Cub, let's go get all those scraps. Let's cut all and groove all of our short pieces. Well, there are guys walking in there like, wait, like, oh man, like you're grooving a lot of stuff. Yeah. So like, I already got everything measured. I know all the cuts I need. I know everything. Wow. That's like art. Oh my gosh. Do you want me to teach you how? Like I'll teach you, but we're going to have to be moving quick because we're on a tight schedule trying to get these schools opened again. So guys, learn everything you can. Learn the best ways to do it. Don't be scared to teach people. Okay. If you were an apprentice again, what skill do you wish that you'd been asked to teach to others? I was asked to teach a lot of things. One of my favorites as a pipe fitter was whenever I'd get that new apprentice welder that just turned out and teach them how to do mirror welds. It's something I can teach pretty quick in the field on location for where they're actually using it. But I've taught multiple welders how to do a mirror weld. If you don't understand what that is, like, let's say this pipe is right here against this. Well, I've got to weld this backside. So I'm gonna have to put a mirror so I can see around there because I can't put my eyes on that part of the pipe. So that you've got to bounce your reflection off of a mirror. I've seen a man make a 7 mirror weld. He was reaching so far back into something, he had to have all these mirrors so that he could look here and weld over here. So wild. Okay. That's one of my favorite things to teach. Let's see. It must be quiet without him, Matt. Oh, dude, it is so quiet in here. I just hear the slider. It's the only thing I hear today. It's kind of nice. Yeah, letting the apprentices teach is the best way for them to retain the information for sure. You love teaching them. I always said that the only dumb question is an unasked question. That's right. That, or when you ask me that same question the third time. I don't like to hear it the third time. First time, okay. Second time, okay, but you better write it down now. Don't ask me the third time. I don't like that. Unless you truly have to know. And there's enough time that's been between them. Then it doesn't bother me too bad. But I don't like getting that third time. Write it down, please. If there's any questions that I asked more than once, I was writing it down because it's like, okay, this is information I need again. I'm going to make sure that I retain it. So study it, do things like that. It'll be a good thing. All right. Moving into specialty. It's a big one. Something I actually know a good bit about here. condensate line routing in rooftop package units. Okay. Don't just dump water on the roof and the walkway. Guys, that is not what we do with the water. Okay. Lines should actually be sloped at 1/4 inch per foot, supported every 4 feet, trapped downstream of the pan. Okay. You're going to want to use UV protected or CPVC. But guys, a lot of reasons that these fail, there's back pitch, and that's going to lead to overflow. There's no union, and you can't clean it. They used some cheap PVC, and that led to some brittle lines. Most of the ones we always ran, I worked at a large commercial outfit, were copper, especially on the roof, things like that. We didn't want to deal with it. We didn't want to get called back because the PVC got brittle because of the sun or anything like that. Code tip here, mechanical code often requires a secondary drain line or pan alarms on rooftop systems in any overconditioned space. And guys, there's some that we would do, like occasionally you could tie it into the storm in some cities around here. But some of those storm drains went down into electrical rooms. So then we had to put a collection pan under the roof drains in the electrical rooms with secondary drains down to other floor drains and all this stuff. Like, sending it to the wrong place can lead to really bad things, guys. So check the code, see where you have to take the condensate to. Don't just dump it on the roof and just let it go wherever it wants to. Some places you can put it down the storm. Most places it's got to go to city. So know your code, know what you've got and where you're at. Definitely. Let's see. Now we have got some social media today, guys. Got a different one today. Some HVAC school. Get this shared. So this is at HVACS instead of R this time. And it's HVAC School. Okay, HVAC School is an online source for content related to technician training in the fields of air conditioning, heating, ventilation, and refrigeration. We focus on real applicable training for techs and contractors, as well as general education resources for the industry. With almost 41.5 million views here. And guys, like, one of the things that like kind of stood out for me personally is it let me think back to school, like this EEV troubleshooting in 3D, a guide for HVAC techs. I'm actually going to pull a video, and of course we're going to have ads on this channel. I'm so sorry. I need to fix that. But check out the video here. All the detail here. This is one of my favorite things because it's actually the cutout, the close-up. You get to see where this EEV is in the system, in the unit, different things like that. I'm a visual guy. If I can see it, especially into that depth that we just went through in that first 7 seconds, like we're going to do it again. Just real quick. Boom. Remove the case. Boom. Here's where it is. Oh, look, let's look inside. Here, let's pull that piece. Here's exactly the component that we're looking at and discussing in this. Guys, it can be huge. This is the way a lot of people learn. Okay, and this channel here, it's tradesmen with great camera presence, walk through installs and mistakes, features brand neutral tool reviews, before and after shots, one of my favorites. There's a pretty good strong follower base in both techs and DIYers, guys. Let's see, the most popular here, we've got how to evacuate an AC system, full vacuum procedures with 1.2 million views. And guys, I wasn't the service technician, the startup guys. I've seen this done so many times though, because I used to run a lot of the refrigeration lines for a lot of units. So watching them vacuum down a system to remove everything, they drop these things in buckets of water, like just blew my mind. But it's middle of summer on a roof in Texas in July. Rough. Okay. Watch out for, let's see. Oh, his ductless mini split line set routing video got over 1 million views, and it's just a guy doing clean work. Let's see what we got on the oldest. Brazing with and without flowing nitrogen using silver solder rings 8 years ago. So they've been teaching HVAC for a while, guys. TXVs. TXVs can be so good. Such a pain in the butt sometimes, depending on where they're at and where you want them. I've seen some weird designs from some of the engineers that we had. But guys, if you're thinking about HVAC, anything like that, this is a good one, good resource. They cover a lot of different things for the HVAC systems. And this is by techs for techs. So if you're thinking about getting into HVAC and you want to be a service tech, something like that, definitely could be a good resource and channel to take a look at. Let's see. Mr. Matt says he never minded the questions because most of the training always timed out the jobs with a buffer of time. Definitely. I can see it being frustrating on the fly. Yes. Like on the fly, whenever you just get brutaled with questions, it's a little much. I love teaching apprentices. I like having them teach me or them walk me through the steps. You know, it's something that we talk about a lot of times. Whenever I turned out, any journeyman I ever worked with, they're like, dude, like, man, you're really good help. It's like, look, I'm so experienced. I'll be the best apprentice you've ever had. Even though I'm not an apprentice, it's fine. I know how to be the best though. I know how to act like an apprentice I would want. Like Dad talks about all the time. You're standing there with the 90 ready to go, waiting for him just to turn around and grab it because you know that's the next thing they need. That's what a good apprentice does. Looks at that next step. The only way they know that next step is to let them teach you. Hey, what's the next step? What am I going to do next? What's the next thing I'm going to reach for? What's the next measurement I need? What are the different things? And run them through it as many times as you can because that's what leads to greatness. Let's see. Matt says, for training, I would always show apprentices how to find parts, breakdowns for systems. Yes, when you're walking through and you're running through this process in your mind, trying to find the problems, talk about it with your apprentice. Let them know the different things that you're thinking about, things like that. So they can see where everything is kind of hidden. And that's it. Like, as plumbers, like Dad talks about it a lot, and I teach it in leak detection. Whenever you first arrive and you know you're doing a leak detection, take a look at where the meter is when you first arrive. Can you put a piece of equipment on it? Take a listen, take a look, see if it's flowing or not, see what kind of flow rate it's got. There's a lot of things that you can know before you even knock on that door. So try to collect the information and pass that on to all your apprentices so that they know what you're looking at, why you're thinking about it. Why do you want to know if the meter's out front? Well, because we're here for a leak detection. So if the meter's out front, great. If it's in the back, okay. I already have an idea whenever I knock on the door. Oh, I'm going to need to go into your backyard because your meter's there. I didn't see it on the front. Or you could even ask the customer if they know where it is. You run into that a lot. But yes, definitely everything is hidden. That was one of the things I really loved doing rough ins and top outs first in plumbing ever. I got to see inside all the walls. I got to see under the concrete. I got to see every part. So it was like seeing the skeleton of plumbing, and it opened my eyes so much for all the hidden things that you can't see after the home is built. Got a couple questions here. Is there a formula for pricing crawl space work? So, you know, what this spit out is typically $75 to $150 additional cost per call. but you're going to adjust that for access, complexity, and local market. 75 is a good starter, could go up to 150 depending on how hard it is to get to, what all is being done, how many trips you think it's going to take, different things. And just use it as a sliding scale. We do that a lot whenever we're talking videos. Okay. Is it an easy shoot or is it a hard shoot? Is it a long process? Is there 100 steps to it or is it 1, 2, 3? All that's going to change the effort that you've got to put in. So definitely think about the complexity to deal with that. That's always a good one, Let's see. How do you spot a job that's too big for the crew? As like I was saying earlier, scheduling. Okay. Look at the scheduling, any upfront cost, and you got to have a backup plan. If one crew member dropped out, is that gonna kill you anywhere? Is it gonna ruin jobs? Is it gonna make you lose some customers? Is it gonna create devastation? If it is, you may not want to take that big job right now because you're running too tight right now. Now, if you've got opening for it, you've got plenty of crew to where you can handle it, maintain it, and keep all your side jobs, your smaller jobs going, even the ones that you're going to hear about while you're out there working on this big job, then go for it. Like I was saying earlier, it's like chess. You got to look at all the pieces, all the timeline. Is it feasible for every single part? If not, don't bid it yet. Just don't, because it could create more of a nightmare. It can make it to where you lose more money than you actually make. So be careful, plan it out, and think hard about what you should really do. Why, and like the apprentice train teaching, why it works so well. It's going to activate multiple parts of their brain. They're going to have to talk. They're going to have to remember everything. And there's going to be some critical thinking going on. And it's going to reveal very quickly what they actually don't know yet. Okay. Like I was saying, there's that gap that, what was that step? If you have them teaching you and they hit that, when they do, they're going to go, oh crap. Oh, I don't know this yet. It's okay. You don't know it yet. Here's what it is. Now you know it. Don't forget it. Build that in. Let it become part of your routine and your normal training. So train your guys up, guys. Don't forget day 4 of safety week. So keep safety on top of the mind, guys. And Roger's out. He is headed up to Virginia. He will be speaking tomorrow during the live. So you just get me again. I'm kicking him out. It's going to be a fun Friday, though. I guarantee it. We'd like to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks. They let me come in here and hang out. I guess I'm the one that authorizes it, so that's pretty cool. But we build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. I always suggest checking out the complete kit at www.leak-pro.com. The complete kit comes with both pieces of equipment, guys. Our equipment is user-friendly. It's the device, one wire up to the headphones, and the only adjustment on the whole thing is the volume knob. So check out the equipment. Once again, that's www.leak-pro.com. If you're a plumber out there and you don't do leak detection through your company yet, and you want to get trained up and learn, give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO, and I'd be happy to discuss a 2-day training that I do out here. I'll teach you how to locate the lines, pinpoint locate the leaks, and even locate leaks on sewer systems. So definitely, guys, give me a call, 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. Let's see, what do we got? Mr. Matt. Brother, keep doing awesome things. Appreciate the awesome things that we do. Have a great day. Love you. Bye. Love you, brother. Hope you have a wonderful day today. And guys, it's Thursday. Have a great day, Miss Lori. Good to see you too. It's Thursday. I'll be back here tomorrow. Man, look forward to it. Y'all come back, hang out, and Get out there, hit it effing hard. Thanks, guys. Y'all have a great day.